Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ka Theater here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Todd Grisham, and I don't think you need me to tell you that we have a mega fight coming up this Saturday, May 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend, live and exclusive on DAZN from the T-Mobile Arena. Daniel Jacobs versus Canelo Alvarez to unify the middleweight championship of the world. And you know, when it comes to big fights in the past, sometimes the hype comes from the amount of vitriol and the amount of hate that the two fighters show for each other. Think about Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins and Tito Trinidad, Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman. I mean, these people, it's a boxing joke. But for this fight, ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen, there is no hype that is needed. There is no bad blood. Both Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez have been absolute gentlemen. They realize, as well as everyone else, that this fight sells itself. As Daniel Jacobs said just the other day in a media interview, he believes that this fight will be talked about for at least the next 10 to 20 years. Without further ado, let me introduce the man who helped bring this all together. One of the all-time greats, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Golden Boy, Mr. Oscar De La Hoya.
Thank you very much. I want to start by saying a few words in Spanish, since we are celebrating the whole Cinco de Mayo weekend. And I want to start by saying how appreciative we are to all the media, all the press. Thank you very much for all the coverage, for spreading the word. It really has been an incredible ride up to this point, where now, leading up to the fight, we know that both gentlemen are in great shape, are professionals, and are going to give us an amazing fight. So, primeramente, gracias a todos los medios. Gracias por todo el apoyo que le han dado a este gran evento. Obviamente, sin ustedes, este evento no sería posible. Les quiero agradecer a todos los medios de México que viajaron a estar en este evento y pues escribir sus historias y mandar el mensaje a todo el mundo. Así que de parte de Golden Boy, de parte de Canelo, de parte de Eddie Hearn y Matchroom Boxing, muchas gracias. La verdad que lo agradecemos mucho. We're only a few days away from the biggest boxing event of the year. Canelo Alvarez, the pride of Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, is recognized as the #1 middleweight in the world. Daniel Jacobs from Brooklyn, New York, is recognized as the #2 best middleweight in the world. This Saturday, the #1 and #2 best middleweights on the planet will put everything on the line for one simple reason: to see who is the best. That is boxing at its finest. And if there is anything that characterizes Golden Boy, it's that we always strive to make the best fights possible. Indeed, this is the biggest fight in boxing, featuring biggest star in boxing at the most lucrative place for boxing on the biggest platform for boxing. However, this fight also transcends the sport of boxing because it addresses a desire that is universally respected, and that is the desire to be remembered as a great fighter. In life, there are challenges that strengthen a person's character and determine how this person will be remembered. Boxing is no different. And the men we have before us today have faced tough challenges that few on this earth can relate to. Daniel Jacobs, for instance, the champion, the challenger, isn't supposed to be here. In 2011, he was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer. His doctors told him he would never walk again, let alone box again. But here he is, a two-time world champion, headlining the biggest events of the year. Canelo Alvarez, yes, our champion, has also faced tough challenges. As a child of immigrants, I know from my parents how difficult it is to start a life in Mexico, but still, Canelo persevered, despite his humble surroundings, to be the #1 fighter on the planet. Outside of the ring, these men have already proven what they are made of. and for that, they deserve our respect. But this Saturday, these men will also have to determine who will be remembered as the best middleweight of their time, the only way they know how, with their fists. If the desire to be great is as powerful as I know it is, then we will have a great fight on Saturday night. This battle, as you know, will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So we want to thank our partners at T-Mobile Arena for hosting Canelo for the 5th time at such an exciting venue. Tickets are still available for Canelo versus Jacob. You can purchase them over the phone or online at tmobilearena.com. We also want to thank our sponsors, Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle. Thank you for your continued support. You have done an amazing job spreading the word that a mega event is taking place Cinco de Mayo weekend here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. We also want to thank Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing for their role in making this event possible. Obviously, Daniel Jacobs has had an amazing career, and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing has done an incredible job. So I personally want to thank Eddie Hearn for making this possible with us. Last but not least, we want to thank our partners at DAZN for providing the best platform for boxing. Now with DAZN, you can watch anytime, anywhere. It's like Netflix, but for sports. Just download the DAZN app and stream on any smart device, whether you're on the go or in your living room. We are excited to be at the forefront of this new era in boxing with DAZN, and look forward to continue making boxing more accessible and affordable for the fans. May 4th will be a historic night. You have one champion on one side, and you have another champion on the other side. And I was thinking back, when was the last time we've had such middleweight unification? And you have to go back to Usyk, you have to go back to Bernard Hopkins, but there's only a handful of fighters who have been in the history of the sport who have been unified champions. So it's a mega event because of Canelo and because of Jacobs, but it makes it that much more special when it's a unification fight. You won't see this every day in boxing. You won't see this, you probably won't see this type of unification for a long time. Two great fighters, but that's what it's all about. And that's what Canelo's all about, and that's what Jacob's all about. So Saturday night, we expect fireworks, we expect a war, we expect an amazing fight with two gentlemen who have done an amazing job getting to this point. So thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you. Before I start, I just want to send our best wishes to a young journalist, Sean Zittel from Fight Hype, who obviously people watching this won't know was taken ill just before the start of the press conference. Our thoughts are with him. I want to do the standard thank yous before I go into this fight, and there's a lot of people to thank. I'll try and keep it brief. Firstly, Maurizio Suleiman from the WBC. We want to thank you not only for producing that great belt, for all the work you're doing in boxing, trying to make the sport safer for fighters. The role that you play in VADA testing and in the WBC weight management program, I think, is incredibly important, and we thank you for that. Also, the other belts that are on the line, the WBA belt, Mr. Mendoza, and Danny's belt, the IBF belt, with Daryl Peoples as well. Thank you very much to the Las Vegas Commission, to Bob Bennett. It's one of the questions we've had so many times. Are you happy? Are you confident with the judging panel, with the commission? And we have to say 100% from our side. I believe we have 4 outstanding officials across this fight who are going to give Danny Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez a complete blank canvas and mutual respect as they score this very important fight. So thank you, Bob, for everything you've done. Richard Sturm, thank you so much. Growing up, I came to many fights that my father was involved with at Las Vegas, and to be involved in promoting one is an absolute honour at your residence. And this is the place that just lights up the sport of boxing. You know, this is the place. Growing up as a kid, you always saw those major fights. So thank you very much. For the zone, well, this is it. This is the big one for you, for us. And when I say us, I talk about the family at the zone, which cuts across Golden Boy, which cuts across, obviously, all your other properties as well. The World Boxing Super Series, the MBL, Combate Americas, Bellator, everything that you're doing. This is such a pivotal moment for not just your business, but for the sport of boxing, where I've seen over the last 3-4 months expensive one-sided pay-per-view cards, and I'm still struggling to get my head round the American public continuously paying $80, $90, $100 a night for a pay-per-view. This is a refreshing new platform, and the work you're doing, not just around the events, but also with the 40-day series with LeBron James and Maverick Carter, is groundbreaking stuff. And I think this is a major moment that fight fans and the media should be supporting as well. I want to thank the media as well, because without you guys turning up and pushing this great sport of boxing, we would have no chance. And in a country like America, where there is so many different sports, so many sports to cover, you guys are continuously fighting our cause, and we thank you for being here today. When we talk about this fight, the last thanks we should give on this side is to Golden Boy Boxing, to Oscar De La Hoya, to Eric Gomez, to the Canelo team, and to Canelo Alvarez, and Robert Diaz as well. Bernard, it is honestly a pleasure working with you guys. I know that historically promoters always butt heads, but we're very much working towards the same cause with the zone and working to try and put on the biggest and best fights for the platform. I know right now that this side has a feeling of excitement and nerves going into this weekend, because this is a wonderful, wonderful fight between two great champions, and this is what the sport of boxing is all about. The problem with sport in general these days is completely dominated by money. But I promise you, as we stand here today, not one person on this side and not one person on this side is thinking about $1. They're just thinking about the thrill and the importance of victory on Saturday night and becoming the unified middleweight world champion. So enjoy this fight. This is a great moment for the sport of boxing. And really, from our side, we just want 3 simple things. We want to make sure that Danny Jacobs is victorious on Saturday night, and we truly believe from the bottom of our hearts that he will be. We want to make sure that we spread the gospel in boxing that great fights can be made. You can put the best fighters on your promotional roster together. You can take risks. It's fun. It's called sport. And that's what we have to remember, why these young men started fighting. What they wanted to gain from this sport when they first laced up the gloves was greatness. It wasn't about how much money they could make. It was how many belts they could gather. Could they reach the Hall of Fame? Could they create a legacy? But thirdly, and most importantly, I want the message of Daniel Jacobs to be spread worldwide. The illness and the disease of cancer touches all of us. We all have members of the family, sometimes ourselves, that are riddled by this disease. With Daniel Jacobs, you have a message of complete hope to anybody in suffering. Daniel Jacobs was paralyzed. He couldn't walk. He was told he may never walk again. He was told he'll certainly never fight again. So right now, I want this story to be spread worldwide to people suffering, to people that don't think they have a hope, to look at this fine young man and realize there is hope. And if he can do it, you can do it. Because this young man is inspirational. And on Saturday night, I believe he will become victorious and become the unified middleweight champion of the world. I thank you to the team. Andre Razier, happy birthday.
Thank you, Eddie.
Coach, Keith Connolly, thank you for believing in us. You've done an amazing job. But thank you most of all to this fine young man who I believe on Saturday night will be the unified middleweight champion of the world. Enjoy the show. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys, first of all, for being here. I mean, what can I cover that we haven't covered already? What questions can I answer that you guys haven't asked already? I just feel as if the thirst for this fight is at an all-time high. We're only 3 days away from a mega fight, and it's such a privilege to be here with all of you guys right before this mega showdown. Once again, I want to thank Canelo Alvarez for accepting this challenge, and Team Golden Boy.
It's an honor and a privilege to be in the ring with you guys. I want to thank my team, Team Jacobs, and everyone involved for making this possible. The Zone, Eddie Hearn, the Matchroom. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for me, and I'm mostly excited to get in there to show the world that I am the best middleweight of my generation. I've been saying it all a while, but now I finally have an opportunity to prove it, to go against this fine stellar champion in Canelo Alvarez. You guys are going to see fireworks, masterful boxing, skills, dedication, persistency, and grit, most importantly. I want to thank all my fans back home at Brooklyn, New York for supporting me and rooting me on. If you're here, not here in Las Vegas, Cinco de Mayo weekend is going to be a poppin' weekend. So you're going to miss out, but you can catch it on the Zone Live. You can support this fight. I just want to say thank you once again to the media, even though I've seen all you guys all week for too many I can't count. But I appreciate you guys for spreading the word of boxing, because boxing still strives as we have two champions who's going to give you guys the very best show that we possibly can. To my family, I love you always for always supporting me and being there for me, showing me the love and support that I need to be the man that I am. Most importantly, the best fighter that I can be inside that ring. I can talk all day, but I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep my fighting. I'm going to talk inside the ring and let my fighting speak for itself. But to Canelo, let's put on a good show, my brother. Thank you.
Bueno, ya lo que se dijo, ya no puedo decir nada nuevo. Hice como unas 1000 entrevistas hace ratito. Simplemente quiero agradecerles a todos el apoyo que siempre me han brindado.
Everything that's had to be said has been said. We've talked to you did a lot of interviews, but look, we're just ready for what comes. We're ready for Saturday.
Gracias a mis fans, gracias a Team Jacobs, Bison, Golden Boy, mi equipo. Gracias por estar aquí siempre y por obviamente tomar esta pelea y que se haga posible todo esto.
And I want to thank everyone involved, the Zone, Team Jacobs, Golden Boy, my team, and everyone for making this possible.
Y pues estoy listo como siempre para hacer y seguir haciendo historia. Muchas gracias a todos, nos vemos el sábado y espero disfruten de una gran pelea.
And I'll repeat to you, I'm ready. I'm ready to continue writing history like I always have. I'll see you all Saturday night. Thank you.
Now, a couple of quick questions. Daniel, obviously you have a common opponent in Triple G. Who would you say is the better fighter and the tougher to prepare for, Canelo or Gennady Golovkin?
Is this on? Okay. I think mentally, Golovkin was sought out to be the most devastating power puncher and the boogeyman of the division. So I think mentally, Golovkin was probably a bit tougher to mentally get prepared for. But I think physically, this is a much harder preparation because Canelo is very agile, he's very loose, he's very fast, and his offensive onslaught is at an all-time high. So I think it's a very drastic difference. But in my opinion, I thought I won the Triple G fight, and I will assure that I will win this fight with no controversy.
Canelo, in your first fight against Triple G, you fought mostly going backwards, and in the rematch, you were on the attack for most of the fight. How will you fight Daniel Jacobs?
Bueno, soy un peleador que puede adaptarse a cualquier cosa, ¿no? Cualquier situación. Obviamente el sábado él me va a dar la pauta para saber qué es lo que voy a hacer. Obviamente traemos nuestra estrategia, pero siempre, normalmente en el primer asalto cambia todo, así que vengo listo para cualquier cosa.
Look, I'm a fighter that's fought all styles, and I mean, what he brings in Saturday night, it's going to show me, it's going to bring out the reaction of me as well to counter whatever he can bring.
Daniel, I know your trainer's very meticulous with watching fighters and their styles. In your opinion, what will it take for you to get the win on Saturday?
What will take the win is simply me just being the best version of myself. I have every attribute to be victorious. I mean, just my physical advantages in itself can win me the fight. But I think I have now the mental capacity. I'm in my prime now, too. I think I'm the I'm the only fighter that Canelo has faced, other than since Floyd Mayweather, to been in his prime, to be at an all-time high now. So for me, I'm super confident, but I'm going in there with the ability as well. So I do think that I'll be victorious by just being the best version of me and displaying great skills that I have naturally.
Canelo, we talked earlier about how big Daniel Jacobs gets on fight night. He'll be the bigger man. How confident are you, though, that you could still, if the opportunity presents itself, stop Daniel Jacobs by knockout?
En el boxeo todo puede suceder, ¿no? Y más el knockout siempre está ahí, siempre está a un paso. Entonces, vengo listo para todo. Si se me presenta la oportunidad de noquear, lo voy a noquear sin duda. Y si no, ganar decisión, ¿no? No me importa si es más grande, si es más chico, si es más fuerte. Creo que tengo la experiencia y las habilidades para poder con esto y con más.
In boxing, anything could happen, and that's including the knockout. If it's there, trust me, I'm going to take it, and I'm going for the knockout. I've never given a... I don't care. I don't care if he's bigger, he's stronger, he's smaller. That's never bothered me. I have the capability, I have the experience to overcome that and more.
Well, thank you for everyone in attendance today. If you'd like interviews afterwards, feel free to stick around. But right now, we're going to face the fighters off. And for those of you watching on DAZN, tickets are still available, or you can watch it right here Saturday, May 4th, live from the T-Mobile Arena. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you Saturday night.